Well, it was great to be asked to do this because I play Constantine actually in Justice League Action. So to be asked to do this was wonderful because I'm a great fan of Matt's, and obviously the live action show and everything. And this story, it was a lot darker than the Justice League Action ones, but Chas and Constantine are friends. They've been friends since they were kids and they grew up together. There's a lovely little sort of montage at the start of the movie when you see them growing up in Liverpool together and being in a band, and then something awful happened 20 years previous, so they haven't seen each other in a long time. And we get to find out basically what that is throughout the movie. But Chaz's daughter is in a coma at the start of the movie, so he goes and asks because he thinks there's something magical behind it, something dark magic behind it. So he goes to his old friend to ask for his help, basically. And it's great, and it sort of starts off with this relationship between myself and Constantine in a bar at the start in a restaurant. And we actually played it as if it was a live action movie, because we played it at that pace, and it was sort of as emotional and as real as that, which is great, which is a great springboard then for the rest of the movie, and the writing is so good in it that it plays out like a real movie. And of course the movie's 90 odd minutes long, so it's a great amount of time to spend with the characters, and then when things start to get crazy, it's grounded in that sort of reality, it really sort of works. But Chas is, as JM was saying earlier on, he's really like the sort of audience's eye into the picture, He's very much the everyman, even though he's seen a bit of this magic before. Every situation he goes into, he's a bit like the audience, whereas for Constantine, this is daily occurrences, of things popping out of stuff, and, So, but it was great to play him, and him and Constantine have a great relationship. There's a lot of banter, a lot of back and forth, and there's a lot of comedy in it as well, which is nice to see because it can get very dark, the picture, but there's certainly some bits of badinage and light relief in it,
Having played both characters, how would you contrast Chas and John?
Well, as I said, I think in the Justice League Action, I think John Constantine is the version I play. He's obviously more of a peripheral character in that because the stars of that are Batman, and and I would say maybe he's lighter, definitely a lot lighter, in tone than this one. This guy here, this is so dark here, and whereas in Justice League he's still got that sort of, he's quite mischievous. Here John is very dark, but as opposed to the John in the City of Demons and Chas, Chas is like a sort of he's a bit like a Labrador, like a sort of faithful puppy to John's cynical sort of, don't know what kind of dog he would be, like a sort of Rottweiler in a trench coat or something like that, but smoking a cigarette, maybe a beagle. There's a great relationship with the two of them, but they're very different. But yet you can see why they would be friends as well, But certainly John is the lot more sort of hard-bitten character between the two, and sort of. But the relationship is wonderfully explored in it as well, And as I say, there's a lot of comedy in it,
In your opinion, why do you think comic book fans love the movie?
Well, I think because they love Constantine as a character. And funny, I was saying earlier, I think it is that darkness and that sort of anti-hero in him that appeals to people. He's not clean cut. He does get into scrapes. He says things maybe we'd want to say at that time, but there's that always voice in your head, that filter that sort of says, no, don't say that. He'll just go in and say it and light a cigarette and walk off, and and I think that's very appealing to people, and it's very true to his character in the comics as well, I think, And I think JM was saying, in this it's a meld of 3 of the Hellblazer stories as well or something, so and without giving anything away at the end, under pain of death, there's a great springboard, an opportunity for more, I can say.
Do you compare any different movies you do in Justice League Action, 12-minute shorts for kids, as compared to a more hard-edged 90-minute Constantine movie?
I think the tone is different. There's a more sort of like upbeat, but there's a certain rhythm, there's a speed in the 12-minute movies that you have to sort of stick to, I think, because everything is sort of rolling on. Whereas this, it's more like you can breathe a lot more in it. You can actually take the time, and actually I said earlier on, play it like the live action type thing. There's more of a reality to it, I think, and because you've got that 90-minute movie, you can afford to play it like it is, and the graphics and the animation is a lot more sort of rough around the edges, and it feels a lot more grounded.
How would you describe the character's relationship
with Renee, with Chas and Chaz's wife? Well, we see them. I don't know how much you guys have actually seen. There's I don't know what I can say
It
here.
premieres in a few hours.
Pardon?
It premieres in a few hours.
It does.
So you can tell us.
Can I? Are you sure? Can I? Yeah. Well, they have a.
You're good.
Okay. What if I write it out a sign or something? They have. I think it's grounded in. They have a great relationship, and the whole premise of why this has got. He comes to Constantine is because of the love him and his wife have, and the little triumvirate they've got with the daughter as well, and that's basically what the whole story hinges on. And there's a huge big sort of thing at the end that happens, which I cannot reveal as this man looms into view.
Reveal?
He's saying
Movie is a reveal.
yeah, he's saying it premieres in a couple of hours, so which really tests the love they've got, but it's really it's really emotional, and it's really there, and it's real, and that sort of sets up the whole chase across Los Angeles and everything. And John knows that, and there's a great sort of platonic relationship there that John and Chas has as well. So hopefully love will out at the end of the movie, but maybe not in the resolution that everyone thinks. That's a cop-out, but it's my cop-out and I'm sticking to it.
And obviously, you've seen Matt Ryan in the live action.
Pardon?
You've seen Matt Ryan.
Uh-huh.
Would you like to play Chas?
Well, he's actually been in the live action Chas, I think.
He's been in the NBC.
Yeah,
version, but
that's
now-
right.
Now that Constantine's to be in Legends of Tomorrow, would you
That's
like to
right.
follow him?
My phone is on. I will give them my number. Maybe we can just float it across the bottom of the screen here. No discussion so far, but we shall see what happens.
We'll put it out on this, and then maybe
Put it
they'll see
out.
it and be like, yeah.
Tweet away. Exactly. Sounds good. It sounds perfect, actually. Yeah.
Is there a certain storyline that you'd like to follow if you got the chance to go?
Well, Chaz's character might go a different way at the end of this movie, so we'll have to wait and see what that entails. Of course, there could be a Chas live action movie, so why not? Start tweeting that.
I think it's on the DC universe. They announced it.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to take him with
If not, they will be. Thanks very much, guys. Nice to meet you.